Bar Group, raising the bar in real estate. Your Lake Highlands, Lakewood, Preston Hollow pros. You can find them at thebargroup.com. Unparalleled customer service for your real estate needs. The Bar Group. Okay, I hit record this time, I swear.
Coming through.
Promise. I had to redo your bio.
Sure.
I'm really being sarcastic. Here we go. Cameraman, I forgot. One. Yes. Hey, how are you? Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Curtis Reese. We have a YouTube channel that says The Pickleball Show with Curtis Reese. Please subscribe. Please follow us wherever you want. We got a lot of good things coming up outside of pickleball. We got paddle coming up. We get to go to a wheelchair tournament in New Orleans. We're going to go to some point in time in July. We're rolling. But enough about me. This next one, my next guest, his name is Sean McCoy. Sean was born and raised in Houston. He spent 6 years in the Navy, like my brother and my dad. I don't know what perch you're in, and has been in oil and gas for the past 20 years. He is married with 3 children, and when not spending time with them, she is an avid pickleball player, mountain biker, professional podcaster for the oil and gas global network. He's pretty cool. He is currently earning his master's degree in clinical mental health counseling from Lamar University, which I need. Sean McCoy, here you are. Talk to us. What's up, bro?
What's up, brother? Appreciate the time and the patience to get this together. We've been planning this for a bit, so just glad and thankful to be on the show, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, well, it takes us time, and you know how I work, unorganized chaos. That's what my mom and dad called my brain growing up with 4 kids. I don't have 4 kids. I'm one of 4. So, Sean, tell us about what you're doing in the pickleball sport. I call it the way of pickleball, but I want you to lead this conversation because I reached out to Sean in a great article he wrote in LinkedIn, and I'd like for him to talk about it. Let's go.
Yeah, man. So it's the burgeoning industry, social gathering place, a place for mental health, fitness. The pickleball world is really taking us all by storm, especially the people like myself who are Johnny-come-latelys, and trying to crack that nut of what it means. What is it all about, and why is it becoming this wonderful cult that it is? Mm-hmm. And one of the questions that spurred that conversation you're talking about was, the bigger picture media. What can pickleball do to get more people in? How can people watch it and things of that nature? And I just put down some things. And just to preface something, I mean, I just started playing a little over almost about a year and a half ago.
That doesn't matter. I like what you have to bring.
And I've always been an athlete. Always played sports from the time I was young, and just loved to play.
Yeah.
This like backyard wiffle ball and
yeah.
football and whatever season it was. We were either playing the sport, practicing the sport, just enjoying it. And this really, this sport specifically has really kind of rekindled what it's like to be a kid for a lot of people, I think. And the fact that it's so egalitarian, the fact that it's so the barrier to entry is extremely easy. I always joke with people that if you can hit a wiffle ball with a frying pan over a net, you can play it. And that's not to diminish, the skill set.
No, I understand. I believe me. I've heard it all. I'm hearing it all. Right. I'm hearing something. Keep going.
But it's really, what is this appeal that people have? And I think post-pandemic, we were isolated, and but at the same time, we also got to see what it was like to maybe go for a walk, to maybe do something physical that we would have otherwise not been able to do. And I think it kindled this desire to go out and find that. And I think pickleball has become such a great medium for that for so many people. Mm-hmm. And so now that you see, like as we typically do, you see millions and millions of people, you see the numbers, you see this avid, almost just this overwhelming passion for it that people have. So people are trying to tap into this and say, how can we do more with it? How can we make money with it?
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say that. I'm not that's not why I got into this, people. This is
I know.
Accident. No, I know you. I'm just talking about listeners. I didn't get into this podcasting thing knowing I was going to do this, but keep going.
Well, but if you could do it for a living, like if I could do something with pickleball for a living, sure.
Oh yeah,
right?
I mean, absolutely.
It's more making the living than it is just trying to make a few bucks. Although there's your people that are out there just throwing VC money at stuff and just trying to make a few dollars. But and it also there's a physical part of it with the commercial real estate side, and you have all these places that were struggling after the pandemic, and now they're converting malls and converting commercial real estate that was going to sit there. And now they're going, we can do something with it, and it brings people in, and so I think there's all these factors going into it, and so everybody was just kind of asking what they thought, and I just kind of put my 2 cents in, and then here we are. But I mean, I'm nobody special in the pickleball world. I just turned 50. I'm a 3.5 to 4.0 player. Played in some tournaments. Got my ass kicked. I did well in some others. I mean,
That's all right, man. But
right. It's I would rather get my my butt handed to me on a pickleball court than I would anywhere else.
on a bike, on a mountain bike or something.
Yeah, I mean, it can be humbling out there too, especially when
Yeah.
you get
Oh yeah.
somebody who's
S-
who's either half your age or 20 years
Yeah.
older than you are, and you're still getting your butt kicked by him.
So
But it's
your article mentioned something about was it the social um one of them was which one did it specify? Was it talking about the viewership about being a
right. So
a
the,
sports spectator
the, the
sport versus in person, or what was it
right,
about?
right, right. The base and what I'd mentioned was, if you've ever been a fan of like sports like hockey or football or
Sure.
like what I call European
Anything.
football,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you're out soccer,
Yeah.
it's in person. The speed of the game is so much harder to tell on
True.
television
Yes, I know.
when you're watching. Especially for
Yes, sir.
pickleball, and I would even argue some degree tennis and others, and like I said, it's just, but especially you get in a net battle at the front,
Yeah.
the hands battle with four, pros at that. You get one of these, the the Johns brothers
Yeah.
going up against, like a Matt, Matt and Riley and the rest of these guys,
Oh
and
yeah.
it's just so when I got this, and I actually got to see this in between the time we decided to talk in this. I played in the tournament here in Houston, up in the
Yeah.
north side, at a place called Paula,
Uh-huh.
and
Dude, they were on the show,
did
man. Palo
what's
Pickleball?
that?
Palo
Yeah,
Pickleball? Yeah, they were on the show.
yeah. Yeah, so I
Nice
mean,
place.
great group, great
Oh yeah.
place.
Nice.
And my buddy and I were waiting on our next match, and we just happened to be sitting in this one court, and the Open started playing
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
And the two guys that won it were actually in that first game that we watched. And
Yeah.
one of the guys was Austin Gridley. I went back and looked him up, and
Mhm.
he's a 6.0 plus
Yeah,
player.
that's
And
pretty
this other guy,
good.
yeah, this other guy named Grant. And so it was watching, and they played against these two guys from Louisiana who had rolled up knowing they were, kind of outclassed, but they wanted to go see, they wanted to see.
Mhm.
They got a chance. That's the other thing. You get a chance to
Excuse me.
play at such a high level that it's just, and to see it as well. So you can
Ah,
actually play against these guys. I mean, and look, watching these, and that was the part that I thought was that we could tap into as
yeah.
an industry, is combining the idea of watching it, but doing it in person.
Trying to
Because
get more
you and I
fans.
can go play.
Trying to make it more interactive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I keep
Yeah.
going. Mhm.
Yeah, and you and I can go, we can play our own game, and then we can see these pros. And then
Yeah.
once I saw these guys,
Unreal.
because before that I didn't know who they were. I
I
mean,
know.
outside of like your top the people that they always talk about, the Ben Johns and
Sure.
the
Yeah.
St. Naturals and ones like that you hear about all the time. But
Yeah.
other than that, that I don't know. And I'm not, and sure, I see some Instagram videos and some cool highlights and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But I think if pickleball wants to succeed, they need to get the guys and the gals at the top
Yeah.
and have them do these events, and then have them walk over and start talking to people, and start the average player
Engaging.
like me,
Ah, okay.
and just say, hey, how long you been playing pickleball? What's going on? Because then when you get to make that personal connection, then you want to follow them. Then you want to see how they're doing. Then you're checking their duper and
So
checking,
true.
where they're at next, and then you're rooting for them and you care.
Yeah.
Because other than that, I mean, there is no history for pickleball. It's not like football in the during
Yeah.
Christmas and bowl games and
Yeah. March
the U.S.
Madness,
Open and this
the
March.
four
It's
Grand
like there's
Slams,
no
the golf,
history.
you know,
Yeah, yeah, and you're not
Masters.
look, and there's the entertainment value for. I mean, people. I mean, how many people watching basketball to watch a dunk or home run for baseball, or to watch somebody get hit in
Yeah.
football? But they haven't played the actual game in years, or if ever. Some people are massive baseball hardball fans, and
Yeah.
they never put a glove on. And even people like myself who used to play baseball and football, I'm 50. It's been 30 plus years since
Stop
I did
saying you're
that.
50 because I turned 49 in like 6 months, bro. I turned 50 and 40 in 6 months.
It's an awesome age, man. And
There you
if I'd had
go.
any
That's what
idea,
I'm talking about.
I mean, I am more than happy to be 50 and talk about it.
And we're right
But
now we're talking with Sean McCoy. He's a avid pickleballer, avid mountain biker, but he really has a good outlook on pickleball, which he really believes the way to take the next level. And I think it's great. It's already there, but just as a reminder, Sean's saying that get in there, go see a match. I mean, seriously, I was at the national championship. The show was, and Robert, our COO, whatever he does the editing and all stuff. He was shocked. He could not believe how fast things went and how intense, because it's so intense. And you're right,
yeah.
and that's why I wanted to have you on. So yeah, keep it. So What's in your next scope of work with regards to pickleball, or what are you going to put an article out, or do you have anything planned in the future?
Well, I think the way I think that I should and others should really get into
Yes.
it, if you're excited about it, is places like USA Pickleball, become an ambassador,
There you go.
and to maybe become an umpire to support, to
That's awesome.
volunteer as these events come through, and do local leagues if it's a Duper League or whatever the other rating leagues are, and really try to create a foundational status for the sport so that it is open for people who are like me a year and a half ago who'd never touched the game, and then what are they going to get into? What kind of world they're going to hit, and what kind of ramp are they going to hit in order to be a part of that? And so I really think it's this combination of this grassroots, but then giving some eye to the bigger picture. And that's why, because some of the comments that I get, some of our discussions, I got into a discussion with a guy the other day from Pickler on LinkedIn about this, about just whether or not the pro-am stuff, where they're throwing famous names, and Gronkowski is
Mhm.
playing pickleball, and Peyton Manning, and
Yeah.
some celebrities playing it. It's like, well, that's fine. I mean, but I don't. To me, it's not why people
Yeah.
are going to stick with the sport.
hmm I
You
understand.
know what I mean?
Yeah, it's social.
We're-
There's more to it.
Yeah, and you're talking about, I mean, the mental health part of it. I just
Yeah.
watched a video from the Dink put out yesterday about a lady who's using pickleball as part of a therapeutic practice. It's
Wow.
part of her what she does. She's using it's play therapy in a
Wow.
way, and so I think there's a big part of that. There's something about just going out and hitting a ball and running around, and then the social part of it with people. It's not like, there's no offense to like the tennis
Yeah.
where you're
Yeah. No, I
spread
get it.
out,
I
or
get it.
golf
I get it.
where it's just you, or you may play with three other people, but you're always inside your own head, and
hmm
it's social, but it's not. But this one is more you and I can go play on a court,
hmm
you know, and have a great time, and
Yep.
and slap paddles and have a good time. And then we play against each other, and we play with each other, and
Yeah.
we play against each other, and we play with some other people. And then we meet people we never have before.
Yeah.
So for me, and for my money, if you will, quote unquote,
hmm
I just think the game needs to focus on what's getting it popular, and that's the people playing it, and the grassroots folks, the ones that are working with their HOAs to
Yeah.
get courts put in. That's how ours got done. We got our HOA have spent a tremendous amount of money on two courts that we've been using the last year, and I just used them this morning.
Good.
And
Good.
because people got out there and advocated, because they said, and they started with taping off tennis courts, and then
Yeah.
they proved it. They took the tennis courts over, and nobody liked that, and so they built on their own. They built us our own courts,
Well.
and so I just think that the game isn't going to go anywhere. I don't think the question is whether or not it's versus tennis or versus something else. It's its own entity, and it's going to be a hell of a ride the next 10, 15 years in the sport. That's for sure.
Well, Sean. Speaking of Sean McCoy, he's the show's. He's the show's. I'm gonna call you the therapist, because the thing I say that with respect to your angle that you take on. So I think that's great. Well, look, we're gonna jam out of here. But how would people get in touch with you if they wanted to?
Best place to find me on LinkedIn. Just you can find you on LinkedIn. I'm connected with you on there.
Yep, he's part of the
I'm
show.
in Houston. I mean, I'm in the tech side now, in terms of my involvement with the oil and gas industry. But um, I'm out there just being an advocate. It's in my title on my profile because I want people to see it. It's funny because I'm not big on the other social media platforms, but I am on LinkedIn.
Mhm.
But the professional side of it, looking at what's happening in the investment side, what places like the APP and the PPA and MLP and the rest of these are doing. I mean, there's a business side of it that has to be accounted
Oh
for.
yeah.
So
Oh
to see
yeah.
what they're saying and how they're doing it, and the expansion, because it's all coming. I mean, the one thing about it is it needs real estate,
Yep.
and so
That's correct.
but it's here, man. And I just encourage everybody to get out there and be a part of it.
All right, and I can be reached at Curtis at ReeseRacketSports.com on the World Wide Web, Facebook, all that crap. Hey, anyway, I will let you go, and thanks for coming on, and we'll talk to you later, Sean. Anything else you got, Sean?
No, man, just 002, man. Make it happen. Let's go.
Later, man. See ya. That's all you got?
All right.
Oh, come on. You got to have more than that. All right, outro. Where's it at? Boom. See? I found it. I didn't break it.
I love the music.
Yeah. Thank you.
But you do that like I do. So on my Rodecaster Pro, I actually have the pre-mix music whenever I do something to set even though I
Yeah.
edit it later differently, but it's just to help set the tone. I love it. Yeah.
I did that on purpose. Not really. I don't know what the hell I'm doing.